welcome. We're here for Tiger TV Live Members Edition, number 3. So we're doing double header this week, and we've got Colin Plugger Capon, who's probably our live member from 4 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
So welcome to Tiger TV Live Members Edition.
Nice to be here.
So, first up, we always start with, now, you grew up in Moorabbin.
Yep.
Moorabbin was where you come from, and obviously 90% of your career was in Moorabbin.
Yeah, I started playing at Moorabbin itself, which is a sub-district club.
Okay.
Didn't start till I was quite late, but they were in sub-district and the Federal League, which was their thirds, fourths and fifths. Played all down the Sandbelt, Beaumaris, Blackrock, all those type of grounds on turf, and sort of really cut my teeth at senior cricket because I never played junior cricket.
Speaking of teeth, you're going to hate this, but I told you we had them. So I tell you, did you juniors down there as well?
No, I played 2 games of juniors in my life, which was the old the old matting. You'd roll out. For Cheltenham actually, and I was a terrible cricketer and never got a game, so I stopped playing and then started playing when I was about 20. That's when I really first started playing cricket.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually started coaching cricket before I played.
Seriously?
Yeah, when I was 19, I started coaching. It was just my mate was coaching down at Moorabbin and said I need a hand, and because I'd watched TV, therefore I must have known about the game, watching the cricket. So I came down. So I was coaching for a couple of years before I actually played my first game of senior cricket.
Oh, there you go. That's something.
Won a couple of flags too as a junior coach before I ever played a game.
All right. So, yeah, 98 was your first year you hit Upwey.
Yep.
Come to Upwey. So I moved into the hills during the mid-80s, and you were at Old Mountain Gate, Moorabbin, and you got to Mountain Gate.
Yep.
We won't go into Mountain Gate, so that's Mountain Gate. But so moved into the hills during the 80s. Mm-hmm. So your first year, 1998 at Upwey.
Yep.
So what was your biggest thing you found when you first come to the club in 98? So,
look, Upwey.
People you met and all that sort of stuff.
It was such a different club to anywhere I'd played at before, even sub-district, is that it was a stark contrast in the way that everyone went about it. Professional, was great leadership. I think Jeff Bell was president at the time.
Okay, yeah.
But there was a whole committee full of really strong people that ran the club. Obviously, Grace was coaching, and it was just, the place just reeked of wanting success. It wasn't just sort of this pastime of let's come down and have a game of cricket. So it was exciting. It was a really exciting place to walk into. You obviously had Crossy at his best at that stage, so there were some tremendous players. Hector had joined a year or 2 earlier. So it was a really eye-opening experience for me to come to a really professional club.
So what attracted you to actually come to Upwey?
Well,
friends,
Brendan Heath had moved up, and Rob and I,
and
I'd played a lot of cricket and known them for quite some time, so I just decided it's time to make a move. So I thought I'd come up here, and I was getting towards the end of my main cricket career anyway, so I only ever thought I'd be playing lower grade, so I thought, well, might as well just follow my mates up the hill.
Oh, fair enough. So we might go early with this one. Obviously, you've probably been the biggest influence to this club as far as the junior program's concerned.
Yep.
Which I think you're probably the main influence in the junior program. So, can you give us a bit of an insight? Like, I know how you work with the juniors and stuff like that, but give us a bit of an insight at why you're so passionate about it, and I'll be quite honest, they've named the our best cricketer, our best junior cricketer, under the Colin Capon Shield, which I think is a pretty big honour.
Yeah, massive honour.
So, but your influence here, was it only because of Stephen, or is it just because you?
Look, it started off because my son was getting to that age of 5 of Milo cricket, and he wanted to give it a go. And the key influence was the fact that when I came here and saw the strong leadership, I thought, well, if I want my son to be involved in a great club, I need to put my hand up and help out as well. And that's how it started. I thought everyone needs to be volunteering for stuff. You can't just leave it to a few. But it was fun. I've always said that the secret to teaching juniors is to make it more fun than a lesson, because it then becomes a lesson in itself. And some would probably say I'm a big kid anyway. And like having a few jokes and that with the kids. So, but it's a great experience to do, because you're watching these kids develop so quickly as they, from 5 to the age of 8, and then 8 to the age of 11. Their development and growth is massive, and you can see that what you're putting in is actually happening, and they're taking it in. It's different if you're coaching a 24-year-old. You're going to see tiny fractions of improvements.
Okay. Yeah,
so, and it was just good fun. Yeah. Really enjoyed it. Still do.
You've been, well, to me personally, you've been very inspirational as far as your junior commitment was, and I think it was fantastic. I'll be honest with you, you actually kept this club going as far as juniors were concerned, because I know when I started junior coaching, there was a massive gap.
It was, wasn't it?
In between you and me, but the side I was coaching, the side
under 17s and under 12s, there was that 4 or 5 year gap.
Yeah. So, but the way you kept it going, and the way you've kept it going ever since, and I think it's fantastic. That's why they call it the Colin Capon Shield.
I just think it's, whether you've got a child or not, if you're a cricketer, and I was at that right age where I wasn't trying to be a first cricketer, is every player needs to put back into the game. And if you've got a bunch of kids that are dying to learn how to play the game and love the game as much as you do, then step up and offer the time. It's not that big a time commitment, and it's actually a lot of fun. It's a lot of pleasure.
It's actually quite rewarding in the end.
Enormously. And these kids nowadays are adults playing 1s and 2s, etc. So I get to socialise with them now as club mates. They haven't drifted off into the distance. So there's an enormous reward out of doing it. And I just recommend to anyone, if it's just an hour here and there, get in the nets with the kids and start teaching them something, and you'll find that you learn a lot yourself as well.
Yes, I totally agree with you. So, we'll go back. So you played, obviously by the time you got to Upwey, playing a few lower grades and whatever. So, can you remember your first game?
I can remember my first game, actually. It was at Belgrave, playing in the seconds under Rod Heron. And I was opening bat, and I was sitting in slip, and I nearly took probably the greatest catch of my life, but as I hit the ground, it's come out, and this young 17-year-old guy called Darren Spence just jumped on me, and what he said to me that he would do had I caught it is not worth repeating on the camera. So
maybe you're quite happy that you
So that was a very vivid memory of my first game for Upwey. But then, the following years was mainly 3rds and 4ths.
Okay.
Captain both sides for a number of years, and again it was that similar mix to what we've got now of 3rds type players. There weren't a lot of kids coming through at that stage. There'd be 1 or 2. So it really was the older set, or the players who weren't 1st and 2nd players. Great fun though. We had an absolute ball.
Yeah, well that's the key. So, and then obviously finally when you decided to give away your playing days, you got involved with on committee wise and whatever, when you started cutting down your junior coaching to a degree, and we're doing scoring with the ones for when did you actually start scoring with the ones?
I did
I
it.
always remember you just being the one scorer, and that's it.
I think I've done it in total for about 11 years.
Yeah.
And I did it in 2 stints because it was after I sort of finished playing. I had a year off where I was just a spectator and realised that was just getting dangerous. I decided I needed to set myself a target of being able to be semi-conscious while the scores were being read out. So I thought I'll take up scoring. I've always quite liked scoring. I didn't consider it that hard. So I think I did about 7 or 8 years in the first stint, and then decided I wanted to have another go at playing. And this is when they brought in the split innings.
Yes.
So I did it 3 or 4 years of that, and then finished that, and then went back to scoring again. And last year was it was the previous season that I stopped doing it. Probably 10 or 12 years of scoring, and had an absolute ball doing that. It kept me in the game. It kept me involved in a team and interested.
Yes.
Still feeling part of the team. One of the great issues that players have when they stop playing is from a team sport, is they're suddenly just a spectator.
Like being involved.
And like being involved. And there's actually a lot of ways that you can get involved and still feel involved. And I found it really rewarding to be a scorer. I was lucky in the 2012-13 Premiership, that I could score that year. That was an amazing year. And there was a period of time there that we were really at our top. And benefit was, I got to watch great cricket every Saturday. Really good cricketers play cricket. It's great.
Very good time at Upwey around then.
Yeah.
Not so it's not now, but
no.
Back then. So rest of there. So 2015, obviously decided to nominate yourself for the top job, and got the top job as Upwey president.
Yep.
Which is a very it's a very big thing to be a president, and especially for such a strong cricket club, especially in this area. So, how did you go when you decided to become president? How were you going to be different to everyone else, or were you just going to carry on for the previous president, or did you decide that I'll go out and live and do something different, or you just strengthen things, or
I think at the time that I took over as a club, we were just continuing on with the way that we needed to go. And I was never going to do anything different than the way I do things anyway. And still had that focus on the juniors and the development of the whole club, not just the juniors themselves. And it was really, so much of the on-field playing side is up to the captains and the selection committee, etc., that it's really the administration of the club. And like any president, all you're ever doing is trying not to go broke. Make enough dollars so that you can actually afford some ground maintenance, etc. So you spend a lot of your time focusing on finances and getting functions up. So it's more the administration than the cricket side. So it really was just doing. I do a lot of that in my normal day-to-day work. So I was just bringing that into being the president and sort of being the face of the club. But again, I was surrounded by an absolutely tremendous committee. If you think of Paul McCarrick, as secretary, was just absolutely legendary. So there were some really good heads on the committee that made it work.
That's good. So, because always the burning question is, do you believe you were better at a president, or you work in the canteen? Because you've basically done everything. You've scored, you've done the canteen, you're knocking up palmers on a Thursday night. So the burning question is, were you better in the canteen than the president, or so?
Well, you'd say on the Thursday kitchen nights, I'm better this year than I was last year. I'm getting less complaints about uncooked chicken.
Yes, that was a big thing.
That was a big thing, learning how to use all this kitchen material. So I'd probably argue that last year I was certainly better as a president than I was as a canteen. Trust me, it's not something I really want to be doing, but it's one of those things that we need them up and running, and there's no volunteers around, so you've got to do it to help the club survive.
So obviously, 2015, you were Upwey president, obviously, and then you decided to progress more, which I think you were born for the job, but in 2017, you actually become president of the actual league, which I think was perfect job for you. I thought, you know, so, how did you find that stepping up? Well, like obviously it's a bigger commitment. I presume it's a bigger commitment.
Yeah, well, leading up to that, I'd been involved in the association executive as the junior president for a number of years.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
So
I opened up my homework. Yeah, so.
And I decided to become the senior president because it was less work. So I thought, being the junior president of 94 sides, which is what the juniors is a lot of manual work. But that didn't worry me too much. I still enjoyed it. I just, at the stage that Murray stepped down and there was no obvious replacement, no one put their hand up, I thought, well, let's give it a go. Because I did have, and I still do have, some very strong ideas about where this competition needs to go to and how it needs to get there. So taking on the association role is more of a strategic type role rather than day-to-day operations. Again, I've got a good executive behind me. It is really dealing with the bigger issues of the association on behalf of all the clubs. So it's a different type of thing, but it still is quite time consuming, which is why at the end of last season I said, you know, being president of the club and the association was just too much.
Yes,
and decided to step down.
It's not doing your head in doing with the association.
Getting up at 6 o'clock on rainy Saturday mornings doing ground inspections is probably not my most favourite thing. But no, I think, you know, it's given me the opportunity to get to know a lot of people through the association, club presidents, captains, etc., and bring in a lot of thoughts about where cricket's going in general, particularly pushing for the growth of girls' cricket, which hasn't really worked well. But women's cricket seems to be easier to make happen. So it is exploring all of those, where do we go to next, knowing that if we get this right, then clubs become stronger and more self-sustainable. So from that perspective, what I'm trying to do is make decisions that make it easier for the clubs to not just survive but to thrive, and get that type of direction to them.
How do you go with Bob Smith, captain of whoever in Division 8, bitching and moaning about a puddle on the ground or something like that? So obviously I take it you have to deal with so many different situations. How do you go about that and not doing your head in? Or do you just...
They all learn fairly quickly over the phone that there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. Right? Let's put it this way. In my opening statement when I became the president, I said to everyone, I'm going to be blunt and I won't take anyone being offended because I find most of it to be fake. Right? If you ring up to me, if you're the fifth captain of Upwey and you've got a complaint, I really don't care. Speak to your president. President speaks to me, I'll speak to them. Because your president probably thinks you're a bit of a dick as well. Right? Or the first call is, what's this rule? And I say, have you got the rule book in front of you? If not, I hang up. And they know to go get the rule book. And then they don't ring back because they've read the rules. So no, I've learned to deal with all of that. We have a bit of a giggle on days like this, wondering how many phone calls we're going to get.
Surely you must have bets with the other exec callers, but I'm going to get extra.
Oh yeah, we talk about it. Okay, this club or that club. Within 5 minutes of this clicking over, they're going to be on the phone, right? Because they can't understand the rule, because they can't read, or they're illiterate, or whatever, or they're just plain stupid. But you've got to be able to deal with. Understand that most of them are well-meaning, but some of them don't learn that well. But they've learned, just don't ring me.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we'll go from there. Probably a little bit more personal now. I've been lucky enough to play with your young bloke Stephen, and I've seen him progress. And obviously, you coached him during his juniors. I actually got to play in a few finals with him, and I've seen him progress. And he's basically a potential ones player, you could say. And the way he's gone and the way he's stepped up over the years has just been fantastic. You on a personal side, how have you? How do you feel about that? Watching your young bloke, the way he's progressed so far. He's just.
Well, it's really interesting because when he was 11, he almost walked away from the game. It was John Stanley actually conned him into filling in for a game, and he got his interest back. So I just only ever wanted him to enjoy the game. He started off as a batsman. That obviously hasn't progressed real well.
I'll talk to you a bit about that.
He can bat. He just doesn't. He just doesn't train at it. But look, I had the pleasure of playing senior cricket with him. And one of my great highlights of my career has been playing cricket with the kids that I took through Milo cricket in seniors, and seeing their first wicket and seeing their first run and catch, etc. So Stephen is very much laid back like myself, so I could never actually judge his passion, but in the last few years I've seen him become really passionate about his sport and his sport mates. And I haven't been able to see him often because I've either been scoring for the ones or I've been stuck in a canteen cooking raw chicken. So I did get to watch him the other game. It's the first time I've been able to see him in a match since Kyle changed his bowling action. And I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing a lot of fierce passion about his cricket now. And the fact that he's hanging around and kids like Dunga and that are hanging around, I think it's very, very important to the club that generation now is a big part of the club, not just the playing. So I'm loving watching him progress, and I don't try and say anything to him anymore or help him. He's got his senior coaches now, and it's just hard enough to get him to speak to me, never mind doing it. I get a grunt. He could have taken 6 wickets and he'd just walk past me and go, "G'day." But no, it's great watching them.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've been fortunate enough to play with him a couple of games in the twos, and obviously playing that final in the threes with him. And
it's good for a chap when he's had a beer.
So he's actually surprising enough. I actually meet him to try and save the game together, back together. Actually, I think we did save the game together, but he actually came back.
He can bat.
So,
I'm not sure he overly loves spin bowling.
So, no, he gets a little bit ahead of himself in the spin bowling, but I know his bowling is coming leaps and bounds. He wouldn't even know it's the same kid these days.
No.
Upwey decided to bring a vets team into it very early on when the vets started getting a little bit bigger within the club.
Yep.
So obviously they need whatever guys they can get to play vets. So I don't know for a fact he said, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll play. I'll jump in playing vets." So he'll been I'll keep. Yeah, no worries. Crossy's going to bowl his wrist off spin. So as you do, I'll get up the stumps, no worries.
This is one of the
Tell me what happened.
One of the most disgraceful incidents in cricket since Trevor Chappell bowled the underarm. Seriously. So Crossy decided at that stage he was looking for his new future to extend his cricket career that he could be a leg spin bowler. Now it's fair to say that every delivery Crossy has bowled like that is an off spinner.
Wrist off spin.
It's just wrist off. He wouldn't have a clue. So we get him in for the first Vets game. Vets is a friendly game. There's actually rules about bounces in it. So if Crossy comes on and I'm up the stumps, and he's still trying to convince me they're going to be leg spinners. He's bowled 3 balls. Some old bugger has whacked him all over the place. I'm thinking, he might land one on the spot soon. Crossy being Crossy, got angry, and off his 3 or 4 steps without telling anyone, has bolted down a full pace bouncer that's nearly taken, it's gone down leg sides, nearly taken both the batsman and my head off. Right? Didn't give me a signal, didn't tell me, didn't do anything. It's flown down for 4. He's bitching and moaning that it's gone for 4. And I'm not sure whether I was holding, I think at that stage I was holding on to the batsman who wanted to belt him, only because I wanted to belt Crossy first. The language from both the batsman himself was horrendous. Just, what are you doing, you idiot?
Oh, I actually heard that you actually peeled your gloves off and started throwing your keeper's gloves at him. If you hadn't heard that crap, you could bugger off.
The toys were going out the cot like you wouldn't bloody believe. What are you doing to me? Well, you got no helmet on, you're playing vets. I mean, if you got hit by a Crossy bloody leg spinning, even a 2-year-old wouldn't get a bruise. So, get one of his full pace bounce down leg side.
We'll actually go to basically the generic questions that we do with every lot of them. couple of your best times, or if not your best time, social-wise, that you've had at the club. Now, I know you used to do the
Cup Eve.
the Cup Eve, which are always great nights. So hold them aside.
Yeah.
Something where you just run it up. But actually, your 50th was a great night too. Just quietly so.
50th was a good night. The 60th is coming up in a couple of months.
So
see
some
how we go there.
of the great nights that you think you've had, or you have had.
Oh, Jesus. So many of the social nights, I'm quite happy on social nights, just sit back and have a quiet beer and watch young blokes fall over things. I will, though, mention the greatest sight that I've seen at a social function involving Dane Howe. And it was on a Cup Eve.
Okay.
Now, Dane Howe, at that stage, was just going back some time, so he was gun player in the ones. Decided that he could do that classic of jumping up on a chair, stepping on the back, leaning forward and stepping off it.
Actually, I think I'll put it
He got halfway through, he missed, he fell and broke his ribs on the chair. I don't know that I've seen a funnier thing in my life because he's in absolute agony. Arms and legs everywhere, everyone looking at him, and you can see him. You can see him thinking to himself, "I'm the captain coach here. I shouldn't have been that stupid." He was. And he had to play with broken ribs for like a couple of weeks.
It looked like Buddy Morris trying to get back to the Buddy seat. Sorry guys, we're supposed to be serious in this.
Oh dear, so that was one of the great moments of anything I've ever seen in a social function.
You brought back a great memory.
I think possibly towards the end of our old rooms, Red Chapman provided the next highlight when he'd had a couple too many. We know the chappie's not good once he's had a couple too many. And somehow he was at the bar, sitting on the bar stool, and was trying to sing and dance, and managed to fall off the bar stool at the same time as flipping the bar stool upside down and then getting jammed between the legs, his ass jammed between the legs. And naturally, being a cricket club, there was no sympathy from anyone. We just stood around taking photos while he did look like a canned jellyfish at that stage. Arms and legs, he was stuck, he could not get out, and we wouldn't help him get out. Yeah, kids, this is something for you to look forward to when you become a senior cricketer.
Some of the greats
Oh,
from
gee
Upwey
whiz.
clubs, but mainly the ones that, not what everyone else reckons, but who you thought were a couple of greats that,
Look, I think
since your time.
since my time here, obviously Hector, to me, was one of the absolute greats. Just such beautiful technique and power.
Yep.
The power you didn't see until he hit the ball. And people seem to forget that he was also an opening bowler. He was making 600 runs a season, taking 20, 30 wickets as well, and an amazing fielder. He was one of the best I've ever seen. Technically wise, Ryan Pitts was right up there.
Okay, yeah.
Howie, just pure brutality as a batsman. Obviously, I got to see Grace, Cross, and in recent years Wheeler. So I've seen some amazing players up here. My personal favourite, obviously, is Mulk. When he first came, I think that not a powerful batsman, but his intelligent batting of just ticking over the runs and his footwork against spin is the best I've seen.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. He just doesn't matter. He just milks them constantly for runs, and obviously being an ex-keeper, when he came in to the club, watching him, and I was so fortunate to be the scorer for all those years, watching him up to the stumps, and he was worth 2 wickets a game to us.
Oh yeah, change the game. I've seen
Such a pleasure to watch. I'm an absolute cricket geek, so to watch him in action was fantastic. There's just been so many great players that have their own unique touch on the game. I was lucky to be out in the other oval when we took 5 for 1 to beat Upper Gully when they needed 2 runs to win, or 3 runs to win, and I was actually skipper of the thirds. And I stopped the game. I could sense something was wrong, and we all walked over to the edge of the cabbage patch and watched Grace and Cross take 5 for none when Upper Gully only needed 2 runs to win. So watching those two in action was, I'm glad I did face Crossy when I was at Mountain Gate and Slee, but facing those two together would have been a frightening experience, but just magnificent to watch.
Yeah, like I said to son of Bobcat earlier on, when I was at Belgrave and we used to go out and face Grace and Cross, we used to have a minute's silence for each batsman before they go to the bat. It was a very daunting thing. Okay, here we go. Highest score.
160 not out at tea.
Highest.
Hang on, I haven't finished. The captain declared without asking me. I was on the road to 200. It was 44 degrees. I've hammered Knoxfield for 160. He's declared I'm the keeper. I had to go out and keep for the rest of the afternoon. I nearly killed him.
So that was your highest score at Upwey?
Or no, that was highest score ever.
Highest score at Upwey?
There was probably a 50 in there somewhere. I didn't make a lot. I was generally around that 30, 40 mark as an opening bat.
All right. Here's the next test. Best bowling figures?
Gee whiz. I may have taken 1 wicket in my career at Upwey.
No, on the ground. We're not talking in the nets. We're talking actually.
Yeah. I think I took a wicket once. I mean, we're in dire straits if I was bowling. Seriously, I mean, it was almost, if I'm coming on the bowl, would it be better forfeiting?
Funny you should say that. I know that feeling.
Yes. I mean, if I got a person out, that person needed to just quit cricket and leave. But I do think I took a wicket. When I was at Mount Gate, I did take a 3 for one day. And I really, I almost felt embarrassed for it. But I took it and got some free beers, so what the hell.
It's been a pleasure today, Colin.
No worries.
Having you. It's, you've been a breath of fresh air, I believe, to this comp. I think it's great the way you do it, how you believe it should go, and you stick to your guns. You don't fall for, you just go as a minority, you just go with what you believe. I think it's fantastic. As far as the junior club at Upwey is concerned, I think it's, well, like I said earlier on, the Colin Capon Shield. You kept the juniors at Upwey going. Without you, there'll be no juniors here. So I just think you were just sensational. The amount of time you've put into the club, like I say, 1 minute you're flipping burgers, next minute you're out, but you're hosting sponsors, so you've just been fantastic for this club, and I think you've been fantastic for the league, and I hope there's a lot more years with you being involved with the league, and obviously with the club. So thanks for your 30 minutes, and well done.
Thank you very much.
Capon, Thank you.
Cheers.